All right. What's going on, world? Okay,
I
so
hope they can
Kevin,
hear
you're
me.
in the net play with me, right?
I am,
All right.
assuming my connection stays stable enough.
Yeah, we're looking pretty high on it there. I think what I'll do
Right back down.
is I'll probably turn off the music in game just so it's less
Mhm.
distracting. Oh, also I need to adjust volume levels in general because folks might have tough time hearing you versus me versus, you know. So I need to actually look at the chat.
Oh no, you actually need to interact with your audience.
You know what's wild?
Hi, people.
I'm streaming to Smash Bros. Legacy, but in like the little chat thing in Streamlabs OBS, I'm chatting as myself instead of Smash Bros. Legacy, which...
Interesting.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, the chat just does not work in Streamlabs OBS because it doesn't even show up. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Alright, whatever. Okay. Hello, everyone in the chat. Oh my goodness. Wow. Hello.
Hi, people.
Dr. Wooshi. Sans for
Hello,
Legacy LMAO. No. Oh, this is your direct? Okay, so basically, our good friend Layell here had a good idea, and that was to go over the costumes that are in 2.5. Just go over them. I'm realizing that I'm showing my my key, so anyone can join this. So I might have to leave a room if someone tries to join. Anyway, and so thought it'd be fun to go through and kind of explain the costumes and why we chose them and what they represent and those sorts of things. So hopefully, wait, what's this sound? Can you guys hear
Kevin
me?
just left randomly, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, since this was my great idea, I'll just start off with a bit of a summary. Basically, when we started Legacy 2.0, we finished that release. We had this great code to make more costumes to the builds, to add more, and we kind of made a decision at 2.0 or 2.1's release, I should say, 2.1's release. We said, you know, we have this code to add more costumes. We're not going to add any right now because we're not ready. We're going to see what the community does. We're going to see how things go, and we'll start adding from there. And then once 2.1 released, you know, we saw a bit of what people were doing, and we started building what we could make. And we kind of started to look at the file size on how many costumes we could add. And originally we had an idea of, hey, we could add 60 costumes, you know, with our current methods. And then that kind of didn't work because we're like, well, that means everyone maybe gets one costume, some get two. We want more. And so using Color Smash and using just a few other nifty tricks, we managed to get everyone to have at least 15 costumes, and coming up with that was hard. So originally we had a 60 costume plan.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great, honestly, because some characters only got one costume. But the 15 costume plan was quickly established as what we wanted.
Right.
And
you
what
know,
we
on
felt
paper,
people wanted.
On paper, something like, obviously, I think 60 sounds absurd to most people, but even like, 30 or 40 costumes seems like you'd want it. But actually, when our team kind of sat down and said, okay, what are some good costumes that exist for these characters? What are some good recolors that exist? It didn't amount to many more than what you see in our build today. So, oh, turn my mic volume up. Unfortunately, I can't turn my mic volume up, so I'll have to turn everything else down, which is typical for streams like this. So let me just do that real quick. Okay. Is that okay, guys? Let me know how that is.
Am I back now?
Yes,
You
you're
are back.
Hey, there we go. Finally.
So yeah,
What happened?
essentially, if what
my
Kevin missed,
internet's just garbage.
Okay.
yeah. So what Kevin missed is we had a 60 costume plan, and then we eventually decided 15. There's always been sort of a legendary 20 slot costume pack, and we decided we didn't want to go that high. at least for this build, for 2.5. But who knows what the future holds? But I think it's, let's start with start by character, David. You've
Yeah.
got Mario up on the screen right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Oh, also, thank you so much for finding that looping noise in the background. I forgot that the background that I use has a sound effect in it, so I've just muted that, so that shouldn't give you any more problems. Thank you, chat, for noticing that. Sorry about that. So also, Layell, do you want to just... I feel like it might be easier if you joined my netplay session, because we could kind of go through the costumes together.
yeah, sure. Why don't you Discord me that thing again?
Okay.
I think I got my netplay all set up, but yeah, let's start with Mario there, since you're at Mario right now.
Okay.
Mario, we really wanted Builder Mario in the build,
Can you join
and
this?
we really wanted team costumes. So we decided sort of early on that we wanted a new Mario, a new Doc, and Builder Mario. So to set that up, you might notice that we made yellow construction Builder Mario, the red team color, which was probably which I think no one complained about. It's just something we decided to do just to make everyone happy and get all the costumes we wanted in. So I'm just gonna join David's net play now.
Yeah. Okay. Then that'll help
Okay.
us talk about it more.
Yes, for sure. Okay. So then I'm gonna cut out of the live stream myself and just play on my Dolphin. Assuming this loads up for me.
Whoa. Why are we stopping it? No, don't stop it.
Did we go?
You
What did you
left.
do, Dave? I left.
Yeah.
Did I leave? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just exit out.
Oh, the
Something.
loveliness of netplay.
Okay, I will join in one more time.
Hey, you know what, guys? If you guys ever have problems connecting to Dolphin, you are not alone. It is definitely a struggle, even for us. So don't feel bad. And someone turns on the really loud machine outside my house. So I'm gonna close the window.
Okay. I'm not sure if I have the right netplay build. Just I loaded up the last one I downloaded.
Okay, do not stop the emulation. Okay.
Do you stop the emulation, David?
No, I'm not doing anything.
Okay, I'm just trying to join.
Okay, so can you control?
Okay, I'll host.
No, you're in.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Do you see me? I don't see me. I'm not.
Well, it
I'm
says
not
you're in, but I guess you left.
Okay, I'm connecting. I see myself twice now. That's not good.
Oh my gosh.
What have we done, man? Okay, I've quit out again. I'm gonna connect one more time, David. If this doesn't work, you should load up by yourself at this point. Okay, I'm in. I see myself.
Okay, don't do anything.
I'm not touching anything, man. Okay, maybe I might have kept the wrong netplay version. This happens when you download too many netplay versions.
Okay, it says, do you want to
keep track.
stop the emulation? And I didn't click anything. And no, I do not. So I click no, and then you vanish.
Okay, so don't you know? Just set up by yourself there, David.
Okay.
I think at this point, it's okay. It's me not being a bad boy and having multiple dev builds on my hard drive.
Okay, let's try this again, guys. Sorry about the delay.
But yeah, you show off Mario first. Let's start off with.
So, but this is how it's going to work, because this is how it's going to make sense to me. I'm just going to go through and talk, and then you just be really active in, making sure that I don't miss anything and correcting me, because that's the only way that it'll work for me.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
So for Mario, he's always the classic go-to first person to start with. In terms of his standard costumes, you'll notice that we brought back the Wario recolor from Brawl, actually. And correct me if I'm wrong, Layell, but I think he's only one of 2 or 3 characters we even brought Brawl colors back.
Yeah, Marth and Mario, the 2 M's. They're the only 2 we decided to do that for good reason. But yeah, sort of both of them we felt are classic and sort of appreciated colors. So they're back.
And anyone, I mean, okay, so I also need to introduce everyone that's on this call so everyone's aware. We have myself, David, we have Layell, we have MetalLegacy, and inoWolf, and all of us played pretty pivotal roles in deciding the direction of costumes or even making some of the costumes and rendering them and all that. So we don't have everyone here that was involved in making the costumes, obviously, because there's so many that we drew from or even selecting them, but this represents probably the stronger majority of the latest release, I'd say.
So yeah, Eli has a great question in the chat. Does Mario still have the hyper-realistic overalls? Yes, he does. This is still the Brawl art style. You could always join Smash 3C if you want more colorful.
Wow.
I knew you were going there.
Okay, but let's move on to the Doc costume. So we've got lovely purple lavender Dr. Mario. This is a Mo original that all we did was edit the headband to make it brown again. Instead of purple. And
At my request.
Yeah.
yes.
So if you don't like that, you actively can blame me.
What's funny is, and there are a lot of instances where we would take an already existing great costume, but then there'd be something we want to tweak about it. So, for example, what Kevin just said, for example, I mean, these other Dr. Mario costumes all have a brown headband, so why would we change it for a recolor? Like, so we try to make some philosophically based decisions when it came to our costumes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Builder Mario, really just, he's a classic costume now. It's so nice to have just overalls and a helmet. It's simple, but it works, I would say.
And you can't see it because his name covers it up, but he has a little hammer, obviously, too, in his belt, which is fun.
It's become a really iconic look for Mario, which I think is a bit surprising given that the game originated on the Wii U. But it's really recognizable. People seem to like it. We were all fans of it, so.
And really just, again, as I said just earlier, you know, we really wanted, knowing 15 costumes, we made the default a red team just so that we could have enough triple team colors. And a big theme of the build entirely was adding extra team colors when we felt it was deserved. And just having, you know, Builder Mario as an extra team color was really just fun to have.
Luca brings up a good point, referring back to Project M 3.0, where they had a little bar on the bottom where you kind of see like in what order in the line you were of CSPs. And yeah, I mean, it was sort of a double-edged sword because on one hand it was sort of handy and like helpful for knowing where costumes were, but it's sort of a bad thing too because if you did any level of customization, you would sort of have to edit every single image, and that is just not very practical.
And it killed the quality of the images themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was just baked into the same texture. It wasn't like a separate overlay. It was that each CSP had that bar built into it, and each one had a different section of it highlighted. It would have been a mess to edit.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, before we move on, let's go back to Wario maybe for a moment. So Wario's the one character with 18 costumes.
Because he's so special.
He's greedy.
Yes.
I think our logic at the time was Wario hasn't really gotten much new. Let's give him newer because the WarioWare costumes aren't very good.
Yeah, because we definitely wanted to do a third team set with the Tycoon Wario set, but we had already added the white and black ones, which the black you could kind of get to be a red team, but it didn't really fit super well. So we would either have had to replace the ones in the build and then add a third one for a team, which didn't seem like a good solution, or we could just give Wario kind of a similar treatment to everyone else where he gets a few new costumes even if he's more than the average total.
Absolutely. And one reason why he's sort of a special snowflake, and this is more for people that are interested in like the kind of the reasoning behind his weird costumeness, is in Brawl he was an anomaly because Sakurai gave him the 1 through 6 costumes, which were the biker ones, which were sort of how Sakurai has presented Wario and given him his own identity. And then he gave him an additional 6 classic Warios, which is awesome. It was sort of like a little bonus. But ironically, in Brawl modding, that's actually sort of an inhibitor and sort of a limiter um, which is kind of ironic. So we have to kind of work around that odd sort of treatment that Wario has that no other character does.
Yeah, Wario's greedy. That's why he gets all the costumes. That's really it.
Yeah.
It is kind of an inhibitor, but if I remember correctly, Duke's team engine stuff was built off of the special coding for Wario to have 2 sets of team costumes. So there were definitely benefits that we all took advantage of.
That's true. Yeah. So the tech's sort of a double-edged sword. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can see all these beautiful Tycoon Recolors. And if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, these were mostly based on concept art by Mally. Did he work on that, or did someone else work on that?
I
That was Mally.
believe... Yeah, it was Mally with the concept art, and I believe Mock was the one who actually made them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Correct.
Mally also did help with a lot of optimization. Malastacey, I believe, that's how you pronounce his full username.
I said
Gave
Malastacity, but I don't know if that's right or not.
Mally, I call him Mally anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely helped improve the costume as well, which we really appreciated. And he looks so much. He looked great before, but he really does look much better with the new textures. And I do love this yellow-purple costume. It's just such a treat to have.
Yeah.
It's sort of classic Wario, but with a
It's
suit
like
on.
our Zero Suit colored Justin Bailey.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Let's move on to Luigi. And
I love
Luigi's
this
a fun guy.
standard recolor. It's so good.
This is now if you see in the build, it's called Anime Luigi, and the reason it's called that is there's some Japanese animated movie where Luigi wears dark blue and yellow, and if David's screen gets back, oh, there we go.
Sorry, I'm trying to edit something.
Makes sense. Okay, but anyways, it's based on the most random like movie ever made. It's not really a Mario canon thing, but it's just such nice to have. It's obscure and it sort of fits that Luigi's an obscure character in his own way. He's an odd character,
Mhm.
so why doesn't he get the most odd recolor ever made? And one of my favorite alts, honestly, Casino Luigi is just such fun because he looks stylish, really.
He really does.
Now, the artist formerly known as Sub, now known as Nick, gave this 2.0 update for Casino Luigi. We really appreciated him sharing that with us and helping us get that out for this build.
Yeah.
And
And
we
he also did the renders, right? Or no?
Zen helped with renders on Casino Luigi, but he definitely helped us provide the default. We made our own 2 recolors. They're not the same ones that Nick made, but ours are a bit different. It's just we wanted something slightly different just to make ours unique and special.
Yeah. To add on to that, I want to say when we wanted to make a lot of team sets, we dealt with a lot of red, blues, and greens. Whether or not, a default costume happened to be part of that or not, we tried to think of unique ways than just sort of your base red, green, and blue, because it gets really old to have the same kind of red, green, and blue. So, like, for example, we have sort of these, like, this darker red, and we have, like, this more, I don't know how you describe this, almost, like, purplish, almost Discord blurple blue for Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fun. Like, I really enjoyed seeing what Kevin and Layell, like, brought to the table, and Mark, too, about, like, off colors that would still be appropriate for teams. I thought that was really fun to see that, because at first you think, oh, it's going to be all the same, but there's actually a lot of variety in this.
Mr. L recolors, maybe if we ever get to 20 slots, Mr. Zippy in the chat. We didn't really add any extra Mr. L's. We thought he looked pretty feature complete.
Yeah.
Just getting that Casino Luigi in was really our go-to there.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we had to think about was, is this third costume good enough to justify placement in our line of costumes, or do we just give the second costume all more recolors? That was sort of something we had to debate for a lot of characters.
Well, we actually had an even bigger debate there when we originally were setting out our plan. Legacy TE originally added costumes to the alternate end costumes, like Armored Charizard, like Retro Falcon, all those PM alts, but rarely we've never really added to default. So we were a big fan of adding to default where we could.
Yep.
And where we wanted to, and sometimes we would even take a costume that could be a third set of costumes. If it wasn't up to snuff, we honestly would have preferred recolors, and that's sort of where we went with a lot of these. And let's talk about Peach.
It's a good segue because we have not one, not two, but 3 standard recolors for Peach that look great, I think.
Yeah, gray, yellow. Go the other one again. I forgot, David. Yeah, and NES. NES Peach is great. Just sort of tributing, the costumes and color schemes that Peach has had before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's slightly different from Nurse White Peach, and it's nice enough that we really felt happy with adding.
And also
colors.
And I want to just add on to what Layell was just saying too, because obviously with every new version of TE, our philosophy has been, keep Project M content, don't replace any of it, and only add stuff. And in the past, that's meant basically, if Project M filled up all the costume slots, that character just wouldn't get any more new base costumes, or if they did, it would just be new, like brand new costumes or recolors of the newest costumes in the line of costumes, and not like recolors of the standard ones. So just to reiterate, it's been really fun to make standard recolors and put them in the build.
Yeah. NES Peach, typically I've not been a fan of 8-bit recolors of modern character designs, but the ones we've added in the build, and we'll get to the next one really soon, I've been really happy with. And sometimes certain ones I've not been happy with, especially ones that are spammed on the vaults. Everyone that likes certain things, but I'm very particular about 8-bit recolors, and when I saw this one, it was really great. Because I didn't make this one. Any other thoughts on Peach there?
Yeah, we also have a Fire Peach recolor that was inspired by Mario Sunshine Peach's look and color palette, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
A little Easter egg there.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least is sort of dark brown Shadow Peach.
Mm-hmm.
Just rounding out the colors for her because, again, like Shadow Peach originally only had 3 total colors, adding a nice 4th. I really like 4 when we have 4 of a costume because it just means, if you had a 4-player match, everyone could choose their own version of that costume and be happy. Not that many competitive players do that, but it's just fun, just in terms of how I like to organize things.
And here's another great example of some amazing new red, blue, green standard recolors. I love Bowser's a lot. They're really good.
Oh, Bowser's are great. Yeah, because that's based on Mario Golf. The red Bowser. The green one is based on just Bowser in general. We sort of dark green.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the green and blues didn't really have set references. It's just we knew we wanted another team set for Bowser, and these look really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah, these... Dapperman helped make these.
Yeah, Dapperman did the red and blue, and the green one is based on a recolor from...
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do? Actually, I'm gonna zoom in with Dolphin Free Look on the CSP so it's bigger for people that are watching.
Okay. Cool.
But of course, Free Look is disabled in our netplay build, so I have to enable it and shut everything down for a second.
Yeah, Bowser's one of those cases where, especially just his default colors for teams aren't that great. He's a strong case for why we needed to add more team colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just gives us a good variety. Oh, and the PAL box art color is just...
I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's again one of those ones where I love obscure references sometimes, and the PAL box art just doesn't look like any Bowser sprite.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like any Bowser artwork. Who designed this?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so perfect in the end. The black eyebrows, the orange yellowish hair, so good. And brown dry Bowser is great. Just looks sort of like a fossilized Bowser, which is what I like about him.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some dry Bowser love in the chat.
Oh, are we now?
Yeah, Dry Bowser's sick.
Yeah. I'm very happy, just in general, that we were able to costumes, because I always thought it was kind of a shame that only had the one in regular PM.
Oh yeah, one dry Bowser. You cut out there a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought it was a shame that PM only had the one dry Bowser, so I'm glad we were able to expand upon that. It's just such a good costume.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, now we're on to Yoshi.
Okay, Yoshi. So this is a fun one because we knew we wanted more Yoshi and we wanted teams. The first obvious color is of course brown Yoshi because he's the one that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we said, okay, we've got that. How do we come up with this green costume? And I had sort of thought, well, could we do Super Mario World Yoshi and Duke It Out, one of the best programmers in Brawl modding overall? He said, I have an idea. And he showed us a sprite of Yoshi's Cookie, the NES game, with this lime green Yoshi with black spikes. And all of us in the voice chat were immediately, yes, that one right there.
Yeah.
That's it. And again, 8-bit recolors, I'm generally not a fan of them. But this is just such a good costume.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits with what we wanted. An alternate green that doesn't look too much like the original.
Mm-hmm.
That's really why we did that.
Then
It's
we
the
have our
brown
new...
dry Bowser, a reference to Thousand Year Door Dry Bones recolor. Maybe? We didn't really make that one.
No, it's not.
It's from New Super Mario Bros. U, or Wii, or whatever it's called, right?
Thousand Year Door. Well, Thousand Year Door has some dry Koopas.
No, you mean Dry Bones? No, I think there's
Dry
a
Bones,
literal Dry Bowser enemy you fight in the new Super Mario Brothers on Wii.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
in
the
Thousand Year
reference.
Door, there's multiple dry bones, and there's different colors. There's a pink one. There
Oh,
might
I
be a
see. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Dorri Yoshi.
One sec. Could I speak about the NES?
Mm-hmm.
Something else that made me personally feel way more comfortable with the with including that skin is if you look back at Yoshi's Cookie, it actually shows that recolor of Yoshi right next to the like kind of normal default color Yoshi in the game. Like they have a default color in the game, but next to it they have that color next to it. So like they definitely could have just done the normal color if they wanted, but they also decided to do a different new color. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool, and that made me feel like way more open to the idea of it. I'm like, wow, this is really neat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know they coexisted either. That's cool.
That's Dorri Yoshi. So this was a hidden costume, and we spruced it up a bit to add him in. He just looks so dapper and fine. How can you not this guy?
And then, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't the recolors based on different interpretations of Dorri in like different games?
It's not Dorri. It's different dragon creatures. The orange one is Plessy from 3D World. And the green one, I forget the name of it, but it's the Chinese dragon boss from... Which galaxy is it? Is it 1 or 2?
One of them. I don't remember.
The green
I'm
one?
blanking. Yeah.
The green one just looks like... I thought it was Yoshi based, from my understanding.
No, it's definitely not. There's a green dragon.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
And we were also kind of looking at a Mario 64 hack, which had a greener Plessy as well.
That was it. I'm sorry, that's the one it was from. We thought about referencing the other dragon, didn't end up
Here,
going
I will, David, if you want to open up this image of the dragon.
Yeah.
So we had thought about that one. If you want to show that on stream, I can't see right. Yeah, that was something we thought about, and then we sort of saw this hacked Dorri, and we kind of went something with this. It just sort of looks like a Loch Ness monster overall. Our Yoshi costume.
I remember that.
How did we find this image? We just like search it on Google or something?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, probably.
That's exactly what we did.
So that's the origin. It's a hack. I mean, hey, we're a hack in and of ourselves, so I don't think it's too meta to do that.
I really like it because it's a Loch Ness monster kind of look to Dorri Yoshi. That's what I really like as well.
Yeah.
And it's distinct green, which is really what we want from standard Yoshi.
Yep. So if I flip
between
between default Yoshi and this one, you can see the difference in greens. So.
Mhm.
All right, time for the DK man himself. I love his recolors a lot.
Yeah, so these we started with the base of Donkey Kong 64, which had some nice different team colors, an orange, a purple, a tan, and we sort of went from there, and we added this great sort of teal green color. He kind of looks similar to Smash 64, but not all green. We didn't want to go to Smash 64's green costume.
No.
That terrible costume. Yeah, DKs are great. Just really adds some flavor to him. Again, his boxing team colors are good, but it's really nice to just have those extra colors. And we added yellow DK.
It's so funny because I remember the first piece of content we ever released for Legacy TE outside, like on the vault, like before the project was even out, was this pink Boxer DK color. And the whole idea was basically, we're going to add costumes where it makes sense, and it's going to be good quality, and it's going to be made for Project M. So that's kind of a fun throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Which is extra funny considering the one currently in the build is not at all the same one that was released on the vault.
Nope. Completely different, yeah.
You revise and update things as necessary.
Yeah.
So now for Diddy Kong.
So, this recolor here. So this is, I think, the first instance of Legacy TE shamelessly stealing from Smash 3C. Or essentially me shamelessly stealing from myself.
No harm in that.
An alternate green costume that I made a while back, just a darker green. That sort of, because if you go to default green, it's sort of red and green and very bright. But I wanted
I
something
even missed it. That's how underwhelmed I was by it.
Yeah, so it's nice and bright, but yeah, this is sort of my emerald Diddy Kong color.
Yeah.
Orange is a team color for red. So a lot of the times we did add existing costumes where necessary. This blue one, it's based off the Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate blue. I mean, in Smash Ultimate, it's much more blue like this. In Smash 4, it's sort of white blue. I definitely made the one that Mo made. I turned it a bit bluer just to make it a nice team color to add that on.
Yeah.
So we were okay with taking colors from Smash 4, and this one's just great from Mo. This is just me taking Mo's costume and saying, "Yep, that's great. He looks like a Halloween costume." Really. Yeah. I stole from myself. Legacy TE is secretly Smash 3C Gold Edition. Thank you for that comment. It's if you haven't searched Smash 3 Gold, you can do that later. And hooded Diddy. So this is basically banana hooded Diddy. It's a banana hood.
That's awesome.
And black hooded Diddy was really just me using the default costume with a black hood.
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, of course. I for some reason in my head, black hooded was from a previous build, but that was obviously new to this one.
No, this was definitely new. So
yeah.
Because sort of the existing hooded Diddy costumes use the existing colors. All right, let's talk about this one because I've been wanting to talk about this costume for a while. I was so excited to finally make this. This is Captain Falcon dressed as Dr. Stewart.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Stewart's costume, if you've seen it, it's really gaudy, and he's one of the original F-Zero fighters. And when we started, we knew we didn't want to use the Smash 4 Gold Captain Falcon. It's so yellow, it's so overwhelming. So I tried to tone that one down originally, and I think I made at least 4 or 5 different versions, which is rare for me to do. But I really sort of locked in on the fact that I could make a Dr. Stewart color and not make it look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to search up Dr. Stewart's costume, Dr. Stewart F-Zero, I'm gonna search it up right now. Like he looks really bright and silly.
we
David,
have
if you
people.
want to.
So, okay, by the way, this is another reason why I like the old version of Dolphin more, because every time I exit full screen, the whole thing doesn't freak out in the old version of Dolphin. It does on this one. So that's why you see my stream cutting out every once in a while.
So yeah, if Dr. Stewart's like really bright with yellow and blue, and I sort of just use that as a reference there to make this. And yeah, there's Dr. Stewart in his F-Zero GX glory with the golden fox. So you can definitely see the reference there when you compare them side by side.
Mm-hmm. It's a good pairing.
Yeah. Next, Captain Falcon costume.
All right.
So yeah, this one's a brown one. I know he's based off another F-Zero fighter, but this is an SJS recolor, and it just looks so great that I know he's based off another racer, but the name escapes me.
Mm-hmm.
Just really good overall. Like this is like SJS and Mo. Those are two people who I like. Every time we looked at a character, I'd say, okay, what did these guys make first?
Yeah.
Yep.
If I don't have to make a color, I don't want to. That gold on the Captain Falcon Dr. Stewart costume is from Mo's Smash 4 gold version. That's the same. I just took the rest and I made my own version of everything else.
I love this blue one too. It's so good.
Yeah. So this is like black and blue, and just he looks sort of like a stealth operative in this version. N64 is always good. Okay, this one, purple. So I really wanted a nice purple costume, and originally the body was also gold, but I didn't like it. It looked kind of gaudy, and I didn't want two gold costumes competing with each other so much. Sorry, we didn't get yellow teams in the build for every costume. That would have been really tough, people, but and this one this is based off Phoenix, who kind of looks like Captain Falcon, and just probably one of my favorite costumes that I made for TE.
Yeah, it's funny how, like when you start brawl modding, you just want all the silliest costumes in it because you don't have any taste, and you think you're just like obsessed with the novelty, and then over time, you sort of realize less is more. So I think the more subtle costumes really go farther in looking better and just end up being ones you want to pick more when you actually play the game over the kind of just gaudier, crazier ones.
Yeah, that's funny too, David, because we essentially let the code out for 50 costumes, and we looked in the vault, and everyone had always dreamed of that, adding more costumes. But when I took a deep dive, and I think you would agree with me too, Kevin, David, and Casino Wolf, like when we looked through, some costumes were lacking, and some costumes had to be remade, or just we had to make a lot. It's just us sort of taking a really mature and sort of just thoughtful approach to every costume. I think we did a good job. I hope we did. So Wolf, we added a gold wolf costume. Now Mo was originally making these pirate wolf recolors, and he was stuck. And I said, well, I'm gonna release this pirate wolf Smash 3C version, so you can make this color. And he did, and then he released that, and then I stole it again from. So he stole my unreleased version of the costume. He released it, I released mine, but now I've stolen it again. So the stealing just keeps continuing here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to not have to remake my own costume
For once.
Make it
For
twice.
once.
You did that a lot for this update.
Yes, I stole my own content. Okay, now let's talk about Pilot Wolf.
Ooh.
So Pilot Wolf, I mean, he looks really a lot like his Melee intro with Fox. It's originally called Hybrid Wolf by Dapperman, and Dapperman borrowed it from someone else. You can look in the credits because I can't remember off the top of my head. But I sort of adjusted it just in a few more subtle places, and I renamed it Pilot Wolf just to keep our version a bit distinct.
I think what throws me off is I know that's what it's going for between the assault look and the the melee quote unquote 64 look. But for me, what defines the biggest differences between the Star Fox characters from both eras is like the length of their snouts is basically how I think of it. So
Yeah, I mean,
what?
yeah, go ahead, David.
Yeah, so just it's just funny because you do see the sort of like you see references to the older style with some of like what he's wearing and like the eye patch obviously, but the actual shape of his head is more like his assault look.
Yeah, it's his assault face for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think we were comfortable going with the Smash 2 head.
yeah,
It would have looked a bit off, but it's still a
Yeah.
really great costume. Just it gives Wolf just another nice look that he kind of looks like. We sort of took some of Dapper Man's existing colors and modified them, and this last one's a purple blue one that kind of looks like the Smash Ultimate color if you look the right ways. Uh, it's a much of a homage to that Smash Ultimate new default costume, as we could muster.
All right, now we've got Fox, Nick Boxster.
There's really one recolor that we have to talk about. Well, we'll
Mhm.
start with orange, but orange is Smash 4's color, so not much to say there. Yeah, this green I based off the Smash Ultimate Fox green. Really, it's slightly different. Just greens are a tough costume to make. You'll notice this as a theme because you either gotta figure something distinct from the original one, and last of the Fox recolors, the Smash 3 blue costume. I think everyone wanted this one. I remember seeing it in suggestions after we had already added it to the build, and the Smash 3 blue.
That actually happens a
Yep.
lot for costume stuff.
Yeah, it's nice, and for the people who suggest it, I'm sure they feel great that they contributed to TE, but sorry for some of you guys, we already added it to the build when you suggested.
Or another awkward thing we experience is like if they make something very similar, but the thing we're actually using in our build is actually different, but they think it's theirs, and they're like, "Yes, you used my costume." It's like, well, actually,
We, it was nice, but we wanted to make our own because we wanted this slight adjustment.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually did make the Smash 3 blue one that Nick made, and I made the overalls blacker than just blue. And then we got this nice black fox color. He just looks kind of cool. Oh, and the best fox recolor ever.
Yep.
Just,
I'm very happy with how this one came out.
yeah, I mean, there are multiple versions of this recolor on the vaults, but this is one I made. Right? I made this one, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I
I
believe-
did. It's the SNES box art. So the
Yeah.
whiter jacket, the yellow and the magenta scarf. He just looks great, and it's nice to have for him. Really
Yeah.
is.
And originally we had this color scheme on the regular Brawl design, but then we thought, go with the older model because it'll fit the time period it's referencing better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Kevin, you got to talk about these Falco costumes. These were all you, man.
Yeah, these were all me. I forgot they were all me. Well, actually, this one I think was just straight from Mo, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think I touched this one, but let me. I have the credit file open. Let me double check. Oh, I did modify this one a little bit. I think I toned down the colors a little bit so it wasn't so washed out.
If I recall correctly, yeah, you did it, but I told you what to do.
Yes, that sounds about right.
I was like, well, Kevin's got all the colors.
And by the way, I set the stream for ultra low latency, so I don't actually know what the actual delay is between what you guys are seeing and what I'm doing, so I'm doing my best.
It's okay. I'm pretty good with where we're at here.
Yeah. There's only so much we can do here. This magenta one, this was the one that's just straight from Mo, unedited. It just looks good. It's a nice contrast between the lighter pink and the darker feathers than normal.
Oh, and Panther Falco. So good.
This was one that took a lot of tweaks. I made a few versions of this one before we finally settled on this one, and Mark helped me out with this one too.
Yeah.
But we wanted some sort of reference to another Star Fox character in their costume somewhere, and they kind of fit personality-wise to an extent, and we needed another Falco recolor anyway.
Yeah.
And just what I liked, and it's my own costume, so humble brag, but I liked that I was able to take the glowing yellow of Panther's eyes and just work it into the red feathers around Falco's eyes normally. Instead of making the eye color, I changed that to yellow to really make that kind of glowing big jungle cat vibe try to pop.
Yeah,
because if I remember correctly, Panther Falco was originally a hidden costume, but we remade it entirely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we have the hilarious. It's a really great costume, but it's also just it's funny because of how it looks.
Yeah.
And Cool Guy did a great job on Adventure Falco. It's such a funny costume because the adventure is such a weird game, and Falco's outfit looks just amazingly like space.
And for the record, finding costumes for Falco and Fox is surprisingly difficult. Like, thank heaven the PMDT made the melee ones, or else we'd have like nothing.
Okay, we gotta go on to. Oh yeah, I made these, right?
Yeah.
Or no, Mo made
the purple.
Okay, Mo made purple. It looks so much similar to something I'd make, so I forget sometimes. I make so many costumes, I forget. And this pink one's really based off one in the 20XX build, except I made the overalls all white and the scarf brown instead of. They did some weird like half brown overalls, half white, or whatever you want to call it. Just he looks kind of flamingo pink, and he just looks.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm probably gonna move at a slightly faster pace, so just stop me if I need to go back for something.
Okay.
So,
brown bears.
Correct me if yes, we have brown bears, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did we make any tweaks to these polar bear recolors, or are these the same from 2.11?
No, they're mildly tweaked. I cleaned up the edges on the color banding, and some of the UV mapping was not what I expected. So minor stuff, but they're the same basic.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
These are so cute, honestly.
Ray J, were you trying to cut in there?
I was right about to say, yeah, I think they're roughly the same in terms of like whether they're heavily tweaked or I was just chaining and saying, yeah, they're about the same.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, well, I guess we're not there yet. I'll wait. I'll hold it.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
This one, I kind of Nana's I based off of like the forgetting their name of like an animal cracker color, and then I went with a chocolate brown with like a caramel filling idea was for Popo. And originally, before we settled on the team colors for the polar bear set that we ended up including, I based all of them off of different candies, and I made this one at the same time, but it didn't really get in the build. But when we added another polar bear climber, I just brought it back, and everyone was happy with it. So
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the controversy here.
We country affiliated these characters, these costumes.
Yeah, I don't think Riztech knew much about politics when he released the original version of this costume. The communist climbers. I recall the message he said, like, climb the social ladder. So, Riztech, I think you need to go back to school. I just want to throw that out there, but this was really a great costume. We renamed them the Tundra Climbers.
Yeah. No, I think for the record, I think Riztech is well aware of it. And I think the entire purpose of it was a meme, which is a lot of the other costumes he made were like that. But it just ended up being such a popular costume that people liked that, it ended up being a serious contender. And then, you had the idea to rename them to Tundra Climbers. And then, we removed the communist and, Russian stuff. So it's sort of more agnostic in terms of affiliation. So that made it a better candidate.
And one of the most important changes was making the wood hammers to match the hit trails.
Yeah.
And just to make not a sickle so that the hitboxes didn't look different. And Kevin, that was you mostly, I recall.
Yeah, I redid the textures and ported the hammer back over to Nana, which again was just for gameplay hitbox purposes.
Mm-hmm. And some brilliant recolors here. Just it's nice to have.
Oh, they're so nice.
Little subtle fades, but they get the point across. And this one, we tried to find Ice Climber costumes for a third set, and this was really the only option. There really aren't many Ice Climber models out there.
No.
Yeah.
But they're really good ones, luckily too. So.
Yes.
All right. So for Zelda, we have.
Oh wait, we're going to Zelda. Okay, hold on. I just wanted to chime in with his Ice Climber's Tundra. So, what was it? MetalLegacy. You made the recolors, right?
Yeah.
You posted frequent updates of your tweaks in terms of the color differentiation, at least with blues. And I just really loved how, like, if you just flip through all of them, just how the colors blend well together. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Yeah,
Thank you.
I really appreciated your colors. They look really good. That's all.
Yeah. These also went through a number of revisions in terms of the recolors. I think I started from scratch 2 times on these, along with frequent edits of what I had done. So, all right, now Zelda.
So,
All right,
yeah,
now
this
on
was really a
Zelda.
case where we stole from Smash 4. Smash 4, Smash 4, what's the next one? Smash 4, the other one, Smash 4. These are Moe's recolors, yeah. And then Hilda.
Hilda's
really
super
just-
good. There are a lot
Yeah.
of versions of Hilda, and the most popular one was like an Ocarina of Time Zelda recolor that was just really saturated.
And Moe's Hilda. Again, Moe just pulling through for us. What a bro.
Yeah.
Just making
Yeah.
these. And then this Desert Gold Zelda. Now this one, I gotta pull up the name because I forgot already. Again,
Is
no
this
offense. This was
Jet
from
Fantastic?
Jet Fantastic, yeah, with additional edits by Layell. It says. So I'm sure
Who knows what they
I may
actually
have-
were, but you know, it says it. So
I must have done something. I
Jet he also does a lot of really good stuff. It's just Mo has a lot more, and
yeah.
Jet stuff we kind of filled up the slots for the stuff that he had done already before his stuff was really brought to the table. But I personally am a really big fan of what he does.
And
Yeah,
just
so
the
really
sheer
great
number of costumes we added is just insane. Like 15. We brought up a lot of huge numbers, like 50 costumes per character, and comparatively 15 sounds really small. But when you multiply that by, you know, the 40 or odd characters in PM, and it really adds up.
Yeah. And take a look through the credits document. Find new costumes for 2.5 that either have MetalLegacy, Layell, or Mock as the main people who made them, because all of those were made just for this update.
Yeah.
We put in a lot of work trying to get this out for you guys, and I am very satisfied with the results.
So yeah, this purple Zelda, like there's multiple ones on the vault, but I remade this except I used Moe's sash. I think, yeah, Moe's sash. So again, you know, remaking costumes that already exist just to sort of tweak it right, makes it a bit sort of like Melee. And this lovely gold Zelda, this was by Moe, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Moe. Okay, perfect. I just didn't want to mess it up.
And
And
I
then
love
Chic,
this
yeah.
Chic recolor. It's
So,
awesome.
Smash 4, yeah. It's from
Yeah.
Smash 4, David. Did you ever play that game?
No, I
Okay,
skipped
that's
it.
where it's from. Okay.
Just
Well,
kidding.
that's
I didn't
where
actually
it's
skip
from.
it. I like to pretend that I did.
Don't we all?
Nah.
Moe's purple here is just great because, you know, we already sort of had a purple Sheik, and Moe made this sort of Hilda Sheik great. Like 10 out of 10.
Very good.
Honestly.
And then also you might notice there's some parallels in the Sheiks with the Zeldas. So, and then also we kind of showed this off in the trailer where there were transforming characters. We tried to bear that in mind while making the recolors and costumes, so there was some cohesion there.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and then
We got the
again,
melee.
adding a melee
The
purple. Just
melee-like Sheik to match the melee-like Zelda, and then the kind of gold dark Sheik.
Yeah, this was a Moe original. I just made the scarf brown because I wanted some differentiation between the other yellow Sheik we added to the build. Just add a slight difference there. So again, it was perfectly good the way it was. I just wanted a slight change on Moe's.
I also
So,
love
Link.
the pink and purple links and the like, you know, NES colored Link. Really awesome.
I think, this was one where we didn't need to do team colors for Link, but we did them anyway just because we wanted purple. Pink's a hilarious color on Link, and NES Link is just a great color
It just
overall.
looks fantastic on this model.
Yeah, it looks really good. The gold shield, the brown hair. I made this one, right, guys? I did.
Shout out to
Yes.
Legacy 1.3 NES Link.
I think it's the Smash 3 one.
No, it's not
Only
the Smash
real
3
at
one.
davidvkimball will
Oh.
understand.
This is one I sort of made from scratch with sort of just looking at the original Link color.
It's
Oh, and then Ocarina of Time Link.
yeah.
We added Lavender by Mo because that's the last melee color.
Mhm.
And we had some debate of do we add Lavender, do we add Fierce Deity? Let's just add both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're really different enough to where, they're very
it makes-
distinct.
I'm so
Absolutely.
happy we got this guy in. Like,
Yeah. With the Majora's
So-
Mask shield too, it's really awesome.
Yeah, just a few subtle edits. Just a few subtle changes just to make sure the Master Sword consistent.
Few
But
minor
yeah,
menu edits,
yeah, minor.
So for
Okay.
Toon Link, there's no. Okay, so some characters didn't receive any changes because they've already had 15 costumes. So Toon Link and
for the-
Ganondorf are two of those characters.
So we'll skip those jokes.
In fact, haven't they had 15 since 1.0?
I don't know.
So
I'm
You
pretty sure
made
they
these
have.
builds, not me. I just joined in later.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, it's true because we didn't know that's what it was. We did not always have Linebeck Toon Link as the third costume. We used to have Conductor Toon Link, so that's what I was confused. But we've always had 15 costumes for Ganondorf, Toon Link, Sonic, and Rob. So
Rob.
Mhm.
Yep.
shout out to the Pig Ganon costume. It's really awesome. Unfortunately, though, it means like for 2.5, we weren't able to give any new costumes to those 4 characters, but small price to pay.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Who knows what it holds? I'm not promising anything.
Yeah.
I really am not. I don't want to promise anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I still remember being very clear in the 2.1 blog update. We may add more costumes. We don't know how many we'll add. And everyone in Discord saying, okay, I can't wait for the 50 costumes for Characters Legacy team.
Lol.
I really can't wait.
The other thing is, like, I guess we could have, like, we gave Wario 18. We could have given the other characters that had a 15 for so long 18, but I just think, again, like you said, Wario's greedy, and he just was shown no love until now for new. Well, actually, that's not true. He got the 2 new Tycoon ones, so that's not entirely true, but it still feels like he didn't get enough until recently, so.
This yellow Mewtwo, it's so good.
I
Did you
love
look at the
this one.
reference?
It was made by I can't remember their name, and I'm really sorry for forgetting your name. You made it originally, and then we sort of revised it and made our own release of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was originally Kazuma-geddon, and then
Oh, yeah.
Mach desaturated it and made it kind of fit better with the brawl art style.
I'm pretty sure Mock just remade it entirely, didn't he?
Probably.
Yeah,
Of course, it's the Mewtwo based on the sprite from the Game Boy version.
yeah, from Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah,
It's,
Pokemon Yellow.
it's really it's such a good color.
It's very good.
Hmm.
And then nothing new for armor, but we did get Shadow Mewtwo. And
Mhm.
it's just a case where it's a little thing, but he adds like the colors are so great, and he just looks badass overall, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This was, I think. Oh yeah, we released the Shadow Mewtwo costume when we released the 1.0 trailer. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you'd remember Ray J, because we kind of debuted that costume in that trailer, and then we also uploaded it on Brawl Vault. So fun little throwback to have him as a mainline costume now.
Also, shoutouts to Riztic for implementing the tail
Glow,
graphics.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lucario. Okay, yeah, I knew Lucario needed team colors, so I stole from myself again. Orange.
They're real
That's
good.
purple. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. That asparagus green. I call it asparagus green, Lucario. That's what it's in the credits.
I never noticed that.
This right here is the hardest green costume I made.
Really?
or just we made. Yeah, it's the hardest one to make because look at the default Lucario. Look at default green Lucario, I should say. Like, it was so hard to make one difference enough.
Huh.
It was really hard. It was like especially the stock icons, making them look just different enough. It's
Right.
hard. So
Good
I knew
point.
yellow fur and I knew sort of a greenish swamp green, and I named it Asparagus green.
I like it.
Purple's basically Smash 3's purple Lucario. Brown one I made, and I stole from again before. And G Lucario. So the fun story on this one is the original maker of the G Lucario costumes. Who was that again? I should have these names.
That's the PMDT.
No, or Link the Wolf, who made the Recolors. I should say.
Yes.
Yeah, Link the Wolf made the Recolors. And we knew he had the Choice Scarf headbands. And I just sort of approached Link the Wolf and said, hey, can I have what you did, and can I do this? And he said, sure, and passed me what I needed. Just to make this sort of... It's Sean from Street Fighter. He's sort of another Ryu clone, and I just thought he looked really cool.
Good reference.
He's a good.
And we had changed his fur color from red, the original red, to brown.
Yeah, Link the Wolf's was red. We made it brown just to differentiate him enough from Ryu. What am I saying? Ryu, Ken, G Lucario. Yes, whatever. Okay. Oh, Pikachu.
What was fun about these costumes, I think Star Waffle made some really cool ones that we used for a few of them, but then some of them were kind of inspired or just straight up used Pokemon Let's Go assets from some of the trainers, which was really fun, and Mario Docs did a lot of those, so that was really fun.
So this is Let's Go's hats.
Yeah. This one's another Legacy 1.3 throwback.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name of the creator of the costume, but I remember like on the vault it like said please ask for permission before you use this mod or something. So I remember actually messaging them and saying, can I use it for 1.3? And they're like, sure. And I didn't ask for permission ever again.
And this one, Star Waffle, we did use his headphones one, which we'll show later, and I stole his hardtail for the May Pikachu.
That's right, because it was a better female tail.
Yeah, better female tail. So, throwback to Melee, cowboy hat, just yeehaw.
Yeah.
A variant of Classy Pikachu, which is a variant of... I forgot the name of Adam's costume, but Adam made Fancy Chew. That's what it was. It had like a monocle and a mustache. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit much. So,
so this one, it's the hat. It's the hat. The bow tie is actually from Let's Go. We used that one. And this is Jukebox Pikachu. And if you've watched the anime, at the end there would always be Pikachu's jukebox with Pikachu in a blue hat like that one with a red bow tie and a little blue jacket. So we ditched the jacket, and this is again just a random anime reference.
You can't really see the details on this, but these are headphones, and yes, it makes no sense because of how Kirby's ears work, but it still looks great.
Kirby's Pikachu's. You mean Pikachu? But yeah, that's from a music app.
What did I say? Jigglypuff?
You said Kirby.
I said Kirby.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I meant Pikachu, obviously.
Yeah. So green fedora Pikachu. Pika.
We had Officer Jenny Jigs from before, so
yeah.
I think every new costume for Jigs. Yeah, every new costume for Jigs uses a Let's Go hat, right?
No, not Don. Don Pikachu, or Don Jigglypuff, I should say, was Smash 3 made that hat, so we stole from Smash 3.
Which one's that?
Don, the white hat.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The beret was from this random Jigglypuff model called like Orange or Purrinchu, like some jelly one. We just took the beret because it looked really great and made our own.
Yeah, that's right.
Jigglypuff.
And that's from a bug catcher, that's not from a bug catcher. I don't remember which one's which.
Picnicker, Youngster, and the Pokemon Trainer.
That's right. You're right.
Those are all Let's Go hats. So it's really great when we can just steal hats from a video game.
Makes our work much easier.
Yeah.
And by ours, I mean Mario Doxes.
I love these Squirtle Recolors too.
Okay. Wait. Oh yeah. Let's start there. Wait, is
Okay,
green the
Super, you
first
need
one?
to stop.
Yeah, green's the first one.
Super's in
Okay,
the
because
chat, and
green.
we need to ban him immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Darn it. Is Legacy on Smash Ultimate? Not yet. We'll see.
Don't
Yeah,
do that.
Squirtle.
Don't give them hope.
So Squirtle again is where we take an existing costume, the pink Squirtle, and made it a red team, and then we needed green and blue. So green one, I'll start with green, even though it was the last one I made for Squirtle. This I was trying to look for inspiration everywhere for an alternate green costume, and I ended up looking up Turtle Digimon.
Oh my gosh.
And I found Capamon, which is actually like based on Kappa, like the Japanese creature. So this is either Kappa Squirtle or Capamon Squirtle. I'm fine with both. It's either a Digimon or an ancient Japanese troll face. Whatever you wanted to call it. But it's here, and I'm really proud of it. This dark blue. I didn't want to use shiny Squirtle as an alternate blue costume because he has a green shell, and so I stole this from myself again, from Smash 3. See, this is Caracosta Squirtle, the other turtle Pokemon.
So, and out of curiosity, for those that don't know, Smash 3C is a. When you say steal from Smash 3C, it's not as simple as like something from when you steal from Brawl Minus, or where you just grab the costume. You actually have to make some tweaks to it from a texture perspective, because it goes for a different look and style than Brawl itself. So there's more than just grabbing it from Smash 3C, right?
Yeah. I said, what did I make before? Oh, I made this. Let me just download the base colors again from my PSD and smash it onto a Squirtle texture from Brawl. So it's really helpful to steal from yourself. I recommend it a lot.
Okay.
And this is Turtonator Squirtle, again another turtle Pokemon. Except Turtonator's a fire type, and he looks really great as an alternate.
I love the yellow shell too.
Yeah. It just, again, when Squirtle goes into his shell, he has to look different for each costume.
Yeah.
So if you notice, none of the shells are the same, and that was really hard. And coming to really hard is Ocelot Squirtle, who is the white one, and based off the water starter Ocelot. I think it was Mock who suggested Ocelot, and immediately I said yes and made it.
Wow.
Because it looks really nice. It's such a nice white design. Overall.
It really is, and it's hard to make a good white design that's not just like washed out,
And this is obviously based off Koga,
which is sick.
Koga's the best.
Koga Squirtle. Alright, we have some really awesome Ivy Recolors too.
Yeah, so again, we took an existing PM costume, the white Ivysaur, and made it a blue costume. Wanted some more team colors, so I went sort of this coral pink, and the green is based off of Bayleaf from Gold and Silver, because Bayleaf's the second starter, and it's just different enough from shiny Squirtle. And this last one's, again, stolen from myself, Tropius Ivysaur, because Tropius is just a Pokemon that's a grass type and brown.
And I think one of the more popular, and probably the only real, I don't know, maybe not the only one, that's not fair to say, but pretty much the only Ivysaur alt is the Substitute Ivy one that just fits so well as a main, alt for Ivysaur. And there's some cool recolors, so we added pink one.
Yeah, so we added yellow and pink.
That's
now,
right,
Link the
yellow.
Wolf had made yellow, and then Link the Wolf released these in February of 2018. And he released this substitute Ivysaur. He released a Valentine's version, February 14th of 2018. And so when we were building up the costumes and planning them all out, I wanted a pink substitute Ivysaur, but I didn't want the heart designs he used for his Valentine's submission. Just to keep it the same. So I literally messaged Link the Wolf and said, hey, can you remake this with the default colors? And he said, sure. And he linked it back to me. And he did that February 14th of 2019, like literally a year later.
Wow. That's awesome.
And we said Happy Valentine's Day again. I'm like, thanks, thanks so much, Link the Wolf, for keeping your source files a year later. It really helps me out, man.
At least it was memorable.
Yeah. Oh, now Charizard, like, really great costumes. Again,
Yeah.
taking a default. Like, I think everyone wanted Salaman's Charizard to be a blue team costume.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it looks so good.
And what this says too is there are just so many great dragons in Pokemon, and
There really are.
there are just so many great color palettes by those characters that I mean, and this was Layell's idea too. We kind of tweeted out like, who's that Pokemon, just showing some of these recolors, and people were basically able to guess a lot of the Charizard ones because you can kind of look and tell. Like there's there's Salamence, there's Dragonite, and it's just really fun to see them.
This one's Nagandrel, one of the newer dragons, the purple one. That was Kevin's idea, and it was really great. And then, of course, this is not a dragon, but Crocorock, the crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brawl Minus has made this costume, and Brawl Minus's costumes are great. And Brawl Minus made Flygon Charizard, but I really treasured consistency, so I remade them.
Yeah.
Brawl Minus, you guys do great work, but I really gotta keep consistency king here. I don't want stripes across the face. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But, it's also Ridley. Yeah, Purple Charizard is also Ridley. It could be Nagandrel or Ridley. Ridley's confirmed.
Either Pokemon, either one.
Well, Ridley's not. You got to catch that Ridley. Add him to your national decks.
Ooh.
It's my favorite legendary Pokemon that evolves in the meta Ridley.
Yes. And Haxorus Charizard. Like, this is one of my favorite. This is one of the ones that was really satisfying to make because Haxorus is an armored dragon, and Charizard armored works out very well that way.
And here's one of my favorite pairs is Samus and Zero Suit Samus. These are some of the most satisfying, just awesome. It was like a playground of just so many things we could do, and I feel like we really maximized what we could with our options.
I'm pretty sure we started, Kevin, if I'm wrong, we planned out starting with Samus and Zero Suit Samus, did we not?
We did. Those were the first ones we did. They're the exact opposite of the Fox and Ice Climber shoes. There's too many costumes for these two.
Yeah.
So, but I think overall we knew 100% we wanted two things. First is the Phazon suits.
Absolutely.
And second, we wanted Zero Suit Samus to have we wanted team colors for both of them, but I especially wanted fusion suits, recolors.
Mm-hmm.
So that really dictated what we could do. And at 15 costumes, it became add 2 to fusion, adds 2 to retro, make default fusion Samus or default retro suit Samus, and default Justin Bailey a red team because it will work. So satisfying.
It's so great how they all line up. So I want to switch back between Samus and Zero Suit for a second. So Phazon, you have this, and what's funny is another thing we did in early versions of TE is we kind of wanted to maintain the order of costumes as much as possible, and then we kind of made a few exceptions with Rob because of a few reasons with his PSA and but overall we didn't really deviate from that. But then later on, we figured out that people didn't care too much about the order of the costumes, and so we decided we'd be a little more liberal with moving them when it made sense, and I think Samus and Zero Suit are pretty much a prime example of us really moving things around to fit this more, and also to obviously help with color smash too.
So Super Metroid, we could have done Cadet, but Cadet still lags. There's been some optimizations done, but Cadet still lags, and Super Metroid is just a classic costume where overall. And if we can go back to Fusion Green, I just want to say Fusion Green is easily the worst costume in the build, but it is intentional because it is a canon color. I despise the color scheme. I think it's the worst, but it's also kind of funny just because it's so trolly and awful.
You really
love
think
it
it's
for
that
how
bad?
I do. I think it's the worst. But it's endearing how bad it is.
I'll stop taking.
Wow, I don't think it's that bad.
I've never liked the color scheme, but I think it's kind of fun. Like if you play on this color scheme, you're trolling your opponents basically.
Okay. So basically, if you were to ever play a game with Smash 2 embodied as a person, you would pick this costume.
Oh,
Ooh.
come on, Dave. Okay, but oh, and the retro suit recolors are somewhat based off of Metroid Prime's 2 multiplayer colors.
Ah, they're so good.
Yeah, and like really, like from my perspective, I wanted Zero Suit Samus to have fusion recolors, and I wanted Samus to have retro suit recolors, and it just worked out perfectly that
I just
everyone
love
got
these. I love that. It's so cool because in PM obviously or 3.61, which never came out, you have these costumes, and there's like the cherry on top was you got like 3 extra ones, and now it's like you've been able to like flesh those out and just like add so many more. It's just awesome.
And one fun bit of trolling, I think, is that default Samus does not have a red team costume that is actually like fully red. And
Yeah, it's true.
pink, you have orange, and you have yellow. Really, like retro suit is kinda as close, but yeah, it's there's red in it, but it's not completely red.
Yeah, and where there's
Maybe
actual red, it's not a team color.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's something funny I noticed, but we started with Samus and Zero Suit Samus literally because of how important it was to get these 2 right.
Cool.
Let's talk Lucas. No one likes new stripe colors, so we didn't bother. It's true. Klaus.
Is this
Lucas,
based off
Masked
Masked Man or something?
Yeah, this is Masked
Yeah.
Man.
It was just the model that PM added was based off of the Masked Man to begin with, so it made sense to make it color literally of.
Well, in Mother 3, Lucas puts on that brown costume to pretend to be the Masked Man, and it doesn't match exactly. Okay. Spoilers for that old game that never got released in English. And yeah, of course, there's this version with the black. And now we had a lot of debate, I think, about which third costume to make for Lucas, because we love PJ Lucas. We really do. But just the hitbox, it was sort of like the appearance didn't match.
I
Right.
wouldn't say there was a lot of debate, but it was still a tough decision because we all knew that it wouldn't be the right choice. But we both love both costumes, I guess. So.
Yeah. It's a perfect hidden costume. Like certain outfits made sense to promote, but yeah, and we love it. And Smash 2 Lucas or Earthbound 64 Lucas is just really fun. He has just the right color design. He just looks so unique and fresh.
Yes.
I love the hair. He's so just. It looks like he had like a nice day at school.
All right, now it's getting weird. Let's move on.
Ness, another candidate for why we need more team colors.
Oh my gosh. What was so fun about Ness is like with his shirt you have so much freedom to put whatever you want on there. So it was like time to chock him full of more references.
Yep. So again, this is pretty much ones we all pulled from the vault for default Ness.
Yeah.
Which is Paula, Runaway Dog, and Starman.
Now I think oh yeah, Toadie's in the chat, so shout outs to our good man Toadie in the chat for making this costume.
Yeah. Toadie, you made that first, right? Because either I stole that from you for Smash 3C, or I think I stole this from you. Anyways, it's such a good costume.
It's really good.
So good.
And I love these.
The credit says it's from him, not 3C. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's from him. Well, I mean, I may have made it, and then he made a Brawlified version. Who knows? But speaking of Brawlified versions,
and here we are.
Here we are. I mean, no one really had done Ness PJ recolors.
Except for Brawl Minus.
Brawl Minus did theirs. Yeah, they did one, and the purple one we have. Again,
looks very similar to it.
It is because I made the Smash 3C version of that, and I said, I don't want to have, those effects Brawl Minus. I want some nice. I don't want my PJs to glow in the dark. I need to sleep. And then I made this one, which is based off the final Starman battle.
What's
And
funny is there was some UV shenanigans going on here that you had to finagle. So shout outs to you for getting that to line up.
It's helpful. I did it before once.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically took the patterns, and we cleared out green PJ Ness and recolored it to make it work. And at first I thought it couldn't be done, but it got done. So at least we got PJ Ness costumes, more of them.
Pit.
Okay, like in terms of like overall like one character where all of his costumes are bangers, it's Pit. It's probably. Now this orange one here is there's an orange Pit on the vault. I think even like its CSP is based off like Beta Brawl artwork, and it was silly, but I really liked it. So this is Fruit Pit, my version of it. He's Fruit Pit.
Looks great.
It's all you need to know. Now this is Viridi Green. So Viridi, one of the characters in Kid Icarus Uprising. She wears mostly purple and magenta, but she does wear a bit of dark green. So I just sort of said, well, what if that was her main color? And
his hair literally reminds me of olives and like olive branches.
Yeah. Again, like this is the challenge for making alternate green costumes, like making it different enough from default green Pit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, because if you get too lime, it kind of gets gross, and if it gets too like barf colored, it gets too gross. So it's hard to make a tasteful green, I think.
It is, and so yeah, and again, purple Pit, like just again banger, so good.
Yeah.
It really like they're all so good. Oh, and best for last. I mean, Centurion Brown. When it was suggested for this, like let's make it one based on the little Centurion guys, I said, oh no, and then I made it, and I said, oh yeah. Like it's really hard to get all those browns and yellows like to fit together nicely, and just make it work.
If you rewind to 2.11 or 2.0 even, I think even maybe 1.0, we were in a conundrum where PMDT had 2 classic costumes and there were 2 left, enough for one green and 1 red, but not a blue, and we have rectified that with a blue. So we have now classic team colors finally.
Finally.
And it's so great because they all like the pink and green ones like reference Palutena and
Cupid.
Sort of Cupid, yeah. And this one's just we finally got blue. That's the reference.
Yeah.
Wasn't there also like a separate in-game reference though too? I remember seeing images of Pit in like those variation of colors.
If I'm remembering correctly, Pit actually has pink, green, and blue alternate sprites in the game based on like what power up he has or something. I don't know. I've never played it. But that was what I based mine on. I don't think that's what the PMDT base theirs on.
Okay, so I'm gonna just address one little comment. Some people in the comments are talking about the classic costumes may not be your flavor, and we understood that. That's why standard Pit has 10 costumes, sort of to give everyone that variety and that second team color for standard. So classic Pit may be a bit cheesy for your taste, but you've got all these other great Pit costumes you can play with.
Kirby.
It's the name you should know.
Kirby is the star of the show.
Kevin, you got this one.
Yeah, this was basically all me because for CS Project, we needed to create brand new face tech.
Hope you cut out.
To have them be high enough res to look good because the standard Brawl ones were really small. Same thing with Jigglypuff. And I was tasked with doing those, or I just did them. I don't remember which. And in my head, I was like, well, I already have the standard expression. It wouldn't be hard to make the other ones. So I just made templates for the other 3 expressions Kirby has, released them on Brawl Vault, and then we come to TE 2.5, and it's like, oh, we're adding new Kirby costumes. And I'm like, cool, I have like 30 of them.
Great. Let's add them all. So yeah, more spray paint.
All of the colors we added are based on the spray paints you can find in Amazing Mirror and Squeak Squad.
Yep.
We have, in terms of ones that are new for 2.5, we have, well, we brought back Chocolate, which was initially removed so we could add a second team set for Kirby. But then we added in Snow Kirby, which I just thought having a white one that's not the grayscale one would be nice, and I just love the color.
Yes.
We kept the standard Fighter Kirby because if you're going to change the model, and it works for a red team as well. And then we went with, I believe
Citrus.
it's called Citrus. Yeah, I can remember if it was Citrus or Lime. And then this is Sapphire Kirby, which both are from Amazing Mirror and Squeak Squad.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure where you were because you cut out. Sorry, so I was kind of going all over the place.
It's okay. I was just talking about the Fighter Kirby's and where they come from, but they're all from the spray paints in Amazing Mirror and Squeak Squad.
Yeah, and
It's.
oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's really great when you have game references and you don't have to be creative. I honestly say it like canon is king. Like use what they've already made so that you can be lazy.
Yep. Also, another philosophy we had, in all in the name of making different looking colors. Headband Kirby being the same as default Kirby, that makes sense. There are a few instances where default colors make sense for some other costume, but in general, if we made like recolors, we wouldn't make the same red and the same green and the same blue for those recolors. And here's just another example. So here's blue Kirby, standard Kirby, and then here is blue team Fighter Kirby. And also we did the same thing with Yoshi and any other character that would look very similar to another costume. So that was on purpose.
Meta Knights. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
I think Kevin's having a freak out panic attack.
Okay, well I'll talk about Meta Knight because again, Beta Knight is a great costume, but we wanted more defaults for standard again. So this is easily the most where we've stolen from the default to add more team colors. So default Meta Knight is a blue team costume. He wasn't before.
Yeah.
We had a bit of debate on that, but I think it works out really well because we added in two great default Meta Knight costumes. We added in this great Blade Knight costume and Parallel Meta Knight, and Parallel Meta Knight is such a great costume. And Galactonite.
I love this Galactonite one. It's funny because this goes back to the Kirby Cherry one. This goes back to the Galactonite one. These costumes were in like Legacy 1.3 back in the day, but they were all really gaudy and they just have such more of a polish and like brawl look compared to what like the ones that I had used way back then, and it just has come such a long way. It's so fun to see them in this build like this.
I didn't know you used them before. I just took them and used them because they're good.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of these costumes were in old builds. They just were not this good, basically.
So you're saying I improved your builds, David?
Oh no. If I'm trying to imply that, please don't take me to mean that I mean that at all. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, again, I mean, Nick made the Galactonite, but
yeah,
our design choices on what to include.
Isn't this another Jet Fantastic costume?
Yeah.
Yes. I love that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's one where we knew this one that's made already. Yeah, we're going with that one.
I don't know what time it is Australia time, but if you're there, ciao, man. Cheers.
Yeah, and then Violet one, we sort of just made that one. Oh, but DDD, I mean Dapper Man, he's the
king,
pro, right? Or yeah, he's the King DDD of King DDD Recolors, right?
Yep. Yeah,
so,
his are...
There's something else that's kind of annoying is in his CSPs, because of his pose, his design on his belly's covered, and then also his idle pose, he's holding his hammer in front of it, so it just blocks it.
What can you do? But I mean, when we saw that Dapper Man was making some of these recolors, I'm pretty sure we messaged out to him and said, please, can we have these?
Yeah, he had showed them off in custom brawl modding, that Discord server, and at the time I think we had just started planning the DDD colors, so I'm like, all right, we'll give some time, see if he releases them, and he never did. So one day I was just like, all right, we need these. I'm just gonna message him, and he just sent them right over. It was great.
And then yeah, Dapperman.
He showed those off around DDDs, but never put them out.
Yeah, well, I think he's released his stuff now, but yeah,
Yes.
Kazumageddon made the Black Dark Matter one, and
So
that
good.
one really great. Just,
yeah, that was a
good
people
reference.
people in the trailer were calling that one out and saying, "Wow, they really like it." So that
Yeah.
one was a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, definitely. Shogun. So okay, now originally, there was a yellow costume in TE before this yellow one.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
one's, yeah. We originally thought about adding that one back, but it didn't work out. Sometimes you just gotta fine tune things. And then Dapperman released this black Shogun, and
Yeah.
it again, that poor previous like TE 2.1 Shogun's costume went back into the recycle bin just to live another day.
There needs to be like a Project M mod where all like old versions of costumes go to die. Like that just has to be a build that just combines all of them.
Project M Graveyard Edition. So this purple one, this was made by Nick, and it was gonna be.
Correction. It was made by Star Waffle,
Oh yeah. It was?
and Nick made an edit based off of Star Waffle's version when Star Waffle still had his original, so Nick didn't need to make his remake of it. So he just included Star Waffle's version, from my understanding.
No, I'm pretty
know if
sure
he did.
Star Waffle never released his, and Nick made it.
I have Star Waffle's version on my computer.
Well, I don't think he released it because it says Purple Ike by Nick, credit to Star Waffle. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
At least it
this
wasn't
is-
released on the vault, but I know
Yeah.
Star Waffle gave at least me permission to give it to T. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we have the one downloaded from Nick.
Okay.
But yeah, fun times of everyone stealing from everyone else.
Yes,
That's the lesson you've learned today, kids. Stealing is good.
especially
So-
from yourself.
Yes.
Then we have wait, did we add a
Real.
No, that was in PM, sorry. We have Grail-like now.
Mm-hmm. So, Brawl Minus, great job with this costume.
Mhm.
Yep.
So we took their Grail-like, we took their red Grail-like. Now, if you're a Fire Emblem fanatic, and I think I'm the only one on TE who plays Fire Emblem games.
Probably.
So, I have ultimate say. So this is based on the Archer Shinon from Path of Radiance, Ike's game, and Shinon's a jerk, and so like literally the way you recruit him is like talking to him and then killing him,
Oh.
and then he's like, "Fine, I'll rejoin you." And
Yeah,
this
Insane
one
Asylum.
is based off of he's based on someone. Who's he based off again? It's based on another character from Path of Radiance.
The credits just say blue.
I'll remember the name later.
Oh, it's based off of the character Blue, right.
No.
Speaking of Blue, we brought back our Blue Brawl Marth.
Yeah, we did.
Now, it's funny because, different characters had different numbers of viable costumes we were considering. And at every point where it was available, we always considered, hey, is it worth it to bring back a Brawl color? And 9 times out of 10, it was no, because they sucked. And PMDT versions were generally better. But in a few instances, namely for Mario and Marth, it's like, nope, these are actually really good. Let's bring them back. So we did.
It's Z-Hark. His name was Z-Hark.
Oh, that's the character? Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, if you've played Path of Radiance, he's like one of the other sword guys you get. So Z-Hark, yeah. Okay, but yeah, Marth. Bringing back costumes is nice.
You got Purple Boy.
Mm-hmm. He's back. And I don't think there was any question on what the third alternate costume for Marth was going to be.
Nope.
Nope.
There wasn't. I mean, Hooded Marth is just a tournament favorite, and we got to add some sweet recolors that way.
Yes.
Including stealing from yourself again.
Yeah, I stole from Smash 3. The red one is one I made from Smash 3C as a better red costume than default Brawl Marth. Because I've never liked default Brawl red Marth. Never have. So it's nice to get a good red team color for Marth.
Oh,
Build.
Mark's saying Hooded Marth was the first new costume we decided on adding even during 2.1. So that's funny. I didn't remember that, but I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds about right. Like Hooded Marth, we knew. Like if we put Shadow Dragon Marth, people would ask for Hooded Marth. Where's Hooded Marth? So Shadow Dragon Marth's a hidden costume in Hooded Marth's place. Okay, and Pink Roy. So this is Roy Koopa. We added Roy Koopa to the build.
I always forget that.
Well, Pink Roy is just fun to have.
Yeah.
Now this is Smash 4's Mo's Smash 4 Purple Roy.
That's right.
Except I made the cape purpler just to be different enough from Pink Roy.
Oh, and I also saw this in the chat, although I don't see it anymore. Yes, this video will be on the channel afterwards to watch later if you'd like. So if you miss it or missed the earlier part of it or have to leave later, no worries. It'll be available to watch later if you're curious.
Yeah, and White Roy just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we got to add two really awesome Awakening Roy Recolors that I'm a huge fan of.
Finally.
Yeah.
We have had
Indigo.
so much debate about which one of these three, the indigo, the gold, or the black, should be the fourth one. But now we could just add all of them and make everyone happy.
Yeah, I mean, I am glad I wasn't around for those debates. It's just nice to have them all in now in the build. Yeah, Inigo, and black and gold's just, now you can choose. You don't have to sort of wrestle with the debate in voice chat for
Yeah.
4 hours.
And
A
Allmar's
lot
fun
of
too.
debate in voice chat.
Okay, there was only one choice for Olimar, and it was Spaceman. The
Yeah,
Spaceman.
and some trivia here. We knew Nanobuzz was working on this costume, and he was finishing up this costume and then also a semi-alt, which is this one. And he actually got them done in time for TE 1.0, and that's where they premiered. But then, a few days before we released, he also said, "Oh, I can make a third one too, based on some artwork." And he made this in like a day, which is always crazy. It's a story I love to tell because it's just he's so good at what he does. He's so good at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was essentially no debate here, like Spaceman Olimar, because default Olimar doesn't need more colors.
Yep.
No.
Again, when we said, like, I think when I made, like, the plan, like, extra team colors for characters who don't have them, and Olimar was the big thumb. Like, Pit, Olimar, and Samus were the ones we wanted more team colors for, and just throwing in Spaceman right away was the obvious choice.
Yep. No new costumes for Rob, the same as in previous builds. Ooh, and then we have some really cool ones. We actually have a few costumes here that were candidates for hidden alts on previous builds too, so it's fun to see those return.
So this one, Casino Wolf. I mean, Ranger, you got you. This was yours. Like you suggested this one, the Game and Watch console.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice. It's a slight reference to the actual console itself or the handheld.
Yep.
And it's really
If
nice.
you go to the Game & Watch stage, the start alt, the default, or the Z alt, I believe, it is the Game & Watch of that color.
There you go.
For Brawl. Yeah.
So again, we made triple teams for Game & Watch because why not? I mean, yeah. This is the challenge for making new colors. So this is really olive green, and it's
like the
different
Game
enough.
Boy color, isn't it?
Yeah, it sort of is.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it,
I think that's representing the Game Boy. I'm not sure what the orange one is though.
orange is just orange.
Yeah. Okay. Then this awesome red velvet run, which looks sick.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. It's amazing how one solid color can still just look really good. Just gotta pick the right one.
I think we did. Game & Watch would be hard for 20 slots. I'll just say that much.
Yeah.
Okay. Snake. So So Snake's the only one where both of his hidden costumes got promoted to main costumes.
Nice.
From 2.1 to 2.5. Fun fact. The tux is just so cool, and who doesn't love Metal Gear Solid Snake? Yeah,
What-
without that beard.
What are his
So-
new hidden alts? Do we know?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So,
I don't remember.
I don't.
so first, yeah, they're both Naked Snake ones. There's Topless Naked Snake, because he's gotta look
Oh, yeah.
really great. And then there's now there's the beret one where Big Boss.
Right.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, where he's saluting Big Boss. We thought about having that as a main costume, but the textures weren't very good.
That's right.
So I made the difficult decision to put Tuxedo in place because Tuxedo textures actually look good.
Yeah.
So the green costume is sort of based off of original artwork of Snake in the original Metal Gear games. And the blue one, it sort of looks like Snake does in the Game Boy Color versions of the Metal Gear Game Boy Color game.
Here you go.
Was
gonna
that
say-
intentional? Was it intentional? Did I plan that? Only I know.
I was thinking, no, it's based on Brawl Blue Marth.
Yeah, that too.
And nothing new for
Sure.
Sonic, so...
Well, there is one new for Sonic.
Actually, you're right, there is, I lied.
Yeah, one little one. Default Sonic will probably get more love if we ever go 20 slots.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'll say.
The-
But
the-
it was just nice to have
What's so
have,
funny
full
about...
racers.
What's so funny about, like, the Sonic costumes is, like, using stars would make sense, but it replaces so many that are there that would be, like, replacing too much BPM stuff. But there is a really cool Espio one that I'd, like, that would be cool. Like, there's some other ones we can do.
Yeah, I mean, we've all had thoughts about 20 slot. Whether it will happen is up for debate still. We're not promising anything at this point,
Yeah.
I'd say. But, we have some ideas. And I think a lot of what you'll notice here is, again, there are some characters who could have had triple costumes, like 3 different models, but we didn't in certain cases. And
Yep.
characters who only have 2 costumes that are really main slot worthy, unless some characters get more models, we're probably not gonna do 20 slot. Like, we would have to come up with some new ideas, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Pokemon. I'm looking at you, Fox and Falco.
Yeah.
A few characters could use a few more alternate costume love, because I again, like, we talked about this a lot internally, diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 was really good as a place where every costume you add is gotta be good, because
Yep.
Yes.
you've only got 5 new slots. And
Yep.
if we hit 20 right away, I think our level of quality might not have been as good. Some worse costumes might not have gotten in. Like, there's a lot of good stuff on the vaults, but I would rather have 5 good costumes than 6 or 7 or 10 more okay costumes.
Yep, absolutely. And then
That-
this is not costume related, but something that you guys might notice is on the CSS icons, the portraits on the icons fill out the entirety. Like if you look at pits, it fills out the entirety of the area, and in older builds they would get cut off on the sides. That is something that you can never unsee, by the way. If you ever notice that, any build that's based on an older version of TE, you're gonna notice it, and it's gonna bug you.
So now you're cursed with knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah, the pit wings. Charizard too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyone with
that's-
wings.
That's really wow, we went through all the costumes and it only took an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's
pretty good.
actually not that bad.
That is, I mean, I am curious about a few questions.
Yeah.
Motobug, we appreciate all your suggestions, Motobug, for extra Sonic costumes. I've got my garbage can right there for you. No, Motobug.
Dang.
No, we listen to people's stuff. But sometimes you just gotta have your confidence in your own abilities and your own deductions.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was not ready for that.
We do listen to every suggestion. I always look at that suggestion channel, even though it's on mute. I really do.
I don't mute it. I look at it all the time.
I don't know. So hot.
Oh, that made my whole day. Wow.
No, I love Motobug. But again, oh, and one other thing I'll mention since Motobug decided to drop his comment. I mean, one other thing we were very particular on is not adding. You'll notice we didn't add like anyone's tag costume to the build.
That's
we were
right.
very particular about that.
Along
Yeah.
the same lines as not wanting communist ice climbers in the build, we also didn't want, a certain, well-known player's name costume in the build. And by the way, the temptation has always been there. Like, Ray J, inoWolf, has been part of our team since the beginning. And so he has some really cool costumes that are, inspired by him, made by Link the Wolf. And so that was always a temptation, but we always decided, and I think you can speak to this, Ray J, but I feel like you've always understood that we wouldn't want, to necessarily show some impartiality or show partiality by including a certain person's tag costume.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so, but, the stuff on Twitter was funny, though, with, people asking for their own skins. So what we try to do instead is have a few cameos and a few trailers. I know we did that with, we have a video of Ray J's inoWolf, and we have, Saber's costume. And the whole joke, of course, being, on the Legacy Twitter account, we said that we'd include it if he asked nicely. So that was the response to that.
And so yeah, and our response was Saber's costume getting beat up in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Oh, that was
Thanks,
funny.
Saber. You got into our trailer, so you were included.
Yeah. Shout out
But
to
really,
Saber.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, and then just to, we can answer more questions here too, but just to summarize, I would say 2.5. The big focus was costumes, and I think it was really fun to kind of go over the costumes and our rationale behind it, get some of the artists and creators in here that made them to kind of explain, what the thought process was behind them. But 2.5 has a lot of other things to offer also. So we have a few new code menu items in here. We have the ability to do random ASL, which is awesome. You can also turn it off completely if you don't want to ever deal with alt stages by holding down a button accidentally or something like that. But the random one's great because if you set, all stages onto random and then you enable random ASL, you hit random, it's going to pick any alt from any stage. So it's like a really awesome for casual play and also fun for test, like really nice for testing a bunch of your content kind of more randomly. So that's really nice. And then obviously we have the flight mode and gameplay modifiers, which is, you saw in the trailer, I'm sure, which just make the game super silly and fun. And if you combine it with turbo mode and stuff, it gets really wild. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. And then, of course, the tag-based costumes. So I know there was some confusion about how exactly you do that, and I do show it in the trailer, but I can kind of speak it out here. Just make sure you pick your tag and do that first, and then bear in mind which alt or which player port you are. In this case, I'm player port 1. Open the code menu, select the player port number, which in this case would be player 1, and it will display the tag hex code. So in this case, if I wanted a certain Mewtwo costume to appear when I selected the tag no tap, I would need to rename a file to fit Mewtwo with that string, that text, the tag hex string, and .pack, and then it will be available in-game when you pick that tag and that character. So hopefully that clears up some confusion there.
So David, remember
Yep.
how we were trying to get on NetPlay together just earlier in this stream?
Yes.
And you know what I didn't do?
What?
I didn't set Brawl as my
Oh
default
my
ISO.
gosh, dude.
So you know what you can all do if you're ever doing NetPlay for the first time, or you've downloaded NetPlay a bajillionth time because you forget which build is the most current one because you have 7 development builds. You should watch David's other video on setting up NetPlay, or if you ever want to add more costumes because your name's a Motobug and you weren't happy with our selection, there's a few other videos in our Legacy TE things. They're much shorter than this one. There's gonna be. Or if you just want to add more or replace, we think we made good choices, but if it's not your choice, is it really a choice at all if you can't change it?
Here you go. Choice is an illusion.
Okay. Are you gonna choose to end the stream now, David?
Oh, is that you wanted me to end on that poetic line?
No, you don't have to.
I really don't want to. I want to make sure
nah.
there's other if there's other questions people have.
Yeah.
Cody, why was Fighter Kirby chosen over more basic Kirby colors? I think because Fighter Kirby, sort of like Hooded Marth, is a more popular choice of an alt, and also just something that was used in netplay builds in the past. So I think it was just sort of a popularity kind of pick.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much put the minimum amount of Fighter Kirby. Like, we put 3 for red, green, and blue, and then we added, 2 more. Kirby now has 12 standard costumes, and 3 fighter. So 12 is pretty good, I think, overall. Like,
I know it's small, but I love the update to the versus icon on the top. Yeah, Kirby's made that change. Oh no, it was a suggestion by Bird, and then Kirby's tweaked it to make it better. I think that's what happened.
So how much are you polishing characters on XP, or are they already polished enough? Well, none of us are on XP, but I hope they're polishing and using costumes in Legacy TE, because the TE team worked hard on it. And XP, I'm sure, is gonna have some great releases in the next 4 years. You can expect the next one then.
Question for you, David. If you could bring TE 2.5 and show it off to yourself when you're making Legacy 1.3, would you do it? Oh my gosh. It's funny you say that. I think this build, what you see in front of you, is always what I've wanted to make, but I just lacked the resources, the knowledge, and the connections and people to make it happen. So I think if I were to show myself this build from the future when I was making 1.3, I'd say, okay, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I can see the end. I can see my goal, my magnum opus, as it were. So I don't think I'd be that shocked. I mean, I'd be a little bit shocked, I think. But I think, yeah, I think I would just keep doing what I would have done.
All right, some good questions. So replace every DDD costume with DDD. Sure, we'll do that. And then, and Chimchar actually has a great question. So what new alt costumes discussed but never came to be for 2.5? So one thing we really were hard on, David set this as a total line, is the model has to be made already. We're not, if it's already made, we'll add it in. Or if it's like near completion, we're not doing hypothetical things here.
Yep.
We're not doing like, I don't know, I'll make up something right now. We're not doing some like random costume that has not been finished, such as, I don't know, soccer Yoshi, or top hats, ice climbers, or something like tuxedo ice climbers. We're not making up things and maybe making them. It was like whatever's made now. Tundra climbers were ones we edited, where we could see we could make those edits and make them, but really models had to be done already.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that was really helpful and focused us. Didn't let us go too crazy.
Yeah, and this is a general thing when talking about projects, and like, because people love dreaming up concepts, right? Everyone's an idea guy. That's pretty cheap, but what's actually expensive for time and effort and a bunch of resources is actually making the things you concept, right? So, and also you want to keep in mind how long it takes to do things. So even if you have the skill and the people required to make something, it's going to take time. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, we'll have this in a few weeks. Like, no, you need to actually like budget the time and figure it out if someone's working on it and a bunch of other things like that. So
yeah, because you don't want to be in a position where everything's being held up for the one thing.
Yeah.
And I think, well, Tundra climbers we did a few fixes on for rigging and such, where it was getting concerning. I mean, you just really don't want to be in a position where like everyone's being held off for this one small thing, and causing everybody like stress. Like we're really happy that we got this build out the way it is.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
I think the questions are kind of winding down. I think it'd be good to end this stream with a few self plugs. Is it true, Ray J, that if people want to watch you play PM, they can go to twitch.tv/azpm, or please say it for me so I don't butcher it.
Yes. Twitch.tv/azpm is where I stream every week on Tuesdays. And you can watch me compete at my local tournaments. This upcoming weekend, I'll be in Flagstaff for the event Smash Camp, which is, I would consider a regional. So people from all over from SoCal, as well as Washington, and we have a few others from the East Coast as well who will be coming down. So I'm very glad we're able to do this week and not next week when I would be unavailable.
Nice. Yeah, so definitely click that link and
previous...
follow that channel and see Ray J. Is there anything that you want to plug, Kevin, specifically, or I know Layell, you might want to plug something that begins with C and begins with 3 and ends with C, but I'm not sure.
I don't really have anything. If you talk to me in like a month, I might have something, but not now.
Whoa, big reveals. Something within a month.
Yeah, if you ever want to see Legacy TE costumes before they're released, do come see the Smash 3C
Wow.
Or the Smash 3C Twitter. Definitely follow the Smash 3C Twitter. I'm not the only one who posts there.
Are you sure?
But I am definitely sure there's multiple of us.
But all the clever ones are by you, though, right?
Yes, the one with 500 likes, when we only have 400 followers, is me. But I am gonna be making the Legacy TE 3C build very soon. It's in its final stages. I've been working on it slowly in concurrency with Legacy TE. The reason 2.5 was so slow is because I was secretly working on another build.
That's not true at all.
No.
But anyway, yeah, so follow that Twitter link I just posted, and then for myself, I am doing my own streaming, and so it would be awesome if you guys... I'm working on my own Project M build right now, so I'm going to do a little self-plug for my own Twitch channel. So if you guys are on Twitch, please... I know some of you guys do already, but for anyone else that doesn't know about it, please follow me on Twitch, and you'll get more Project M stuff coming up. So, yeah. What's in store for Legacy TE 2.6-3.0? Well, first of all, I think it's a bit presumptive to use version numbers that are not yet confirmed nor exist. So I can't confirm any of those that exist, but generally, as a rule, we want to make Legacy TE the best base build we can. So I would argue whatever we can do to make it as accessible, as stable, and as just packed with great content as we possibly can. Whatever is required to do that, that's what our aim is. So.
Yeah, whenever Diddy's bananas don't load on the stage where you can't pick them up, that will be when our next
right.
Other than that, I mean, really, unless there's a really great feature or something, I think we're gonna go back in the cave for a bit.
Yeah. I definitely am with making my own personal build. I mean, I've only really worked on builds for other people for years now, and so I want to actually work on one for myself. So that's my own selfish reason, but I know other people worked really hard too, and they just want to break. So I have a question about this TE build, but as it's long kind of off topic. Oh no, go ahead and ask the question if you'd like. What's interesting about 2.5 is none of this costume tech was even available until December of last year, with fixes for Color Smash and team sets coming around. That's very true. So as we were dreaming up what a 15 costume might look like, the tech wasn't even all there yet necessarily, or at least it was, but not in a place where we thought it would be a good idea to include. So for example, Color Smash has been around for years, right? But only recently has it been embedded and part of Brawl Crate, which actually, in my opinion, makes it usable to your lay user. Before it was sort of a convoluted process. And then also, by the same token, Duke's 50 costume code existed, but to actually utilize it, you needed more coding knowledge than we, as a team, felt comfortable with expecting the public to be comfortable with. So when the .mask kind of deal came out that Duke worked on and everything, then we felt like it was an appropriate time. But that only happened as we were working on 2.5 and not before.
So Good Games' question was sort of Legacy T and Smash Ultimate, or like, will we move on to other Smash games? And That's a good question, and the answer is probably no.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have no interest in modding Smash Ultimate, but I can't speak for like any Legacy team. Period. I mean, maybe the XP team wants to, maybe 5 people from this team want to do it, and I wouldn't say no if they wanted to, but I personally wouldn't do anything with Ultimate.
I mean, yeah, the thing is that you have to understand is we have over the course of many years broken Brawl apart to like this
Oh yeah.
huge degree, and Smash Ultimate modding, I've seen it with some curiosity, like in the distance there. It's not as easy to mod your Switch to do what we can do right now,
Right.
to add costumes, to do all these crazy things. I think brawl modding is really easy to approach in a certain way. Like it's very open. You just need a 2 GB SD card and just a bit of videos, and you can figure some things out.
Yeah, and I mean, and computers are pretty much powerful enough to run emulation of it by and large, compared to something like running emulation for a Switch or something like that. And I mean, I got a lot of these questions when Smash 4 modding was bigger, and I held off. And my biggest reason for holding off is because Wii U's were not selling, and no one has a Wii U. So to work on a mod for a subset of an audience would have not been worth it at all, in my opinion. So I'm really glad I skipped Smash 4. In terms of the audience, Smash Ultimate has a much bigger audience, and there's way more people involved. But so from that standpoint, it's rock solid. But I don't know. I like modding Brawl. It's easier.
Really, yeah, the tools are available to us to really be creative and to have a lot of fun and have interesting things. And if the tools for Ultimate, where I could hack my Switch and make it run what I wanted, and I can totally edit costumes or edit stages and import cool things, then maybe I would approach it with the same enthusiasm that I approached PM modding with. But for people, and I've seen the comments before, like, why aren't you doing Ultimate or Smash 4, like when it came out? Just you really have to approach it from the perspective of, there's so much potential here still. Brawl's how old now, and we're still like doing silly things like this.
It's 11
like
years
adding
old.
15. 11 years old, and we've added 15 costumes. We have more costumes per character than years that Brawl's been out.
Brawl's 11. Brawl and Brawl Vault are 11 years old, and the 2.5 release trailer attracted someone to Brawl Vault who's never used it before.
Yep.
That's true. I mean, it's really just a situation where we like Project M, especially us as developers. We like Project M. We may be involved in other Brawl mods on the side, but a lot of us are really devoted to sort of this build. And this content. So
and that's no
really
accident. I mean, and you guys might be familiar with this, but when it comes to like making a team to work on a project, you really need everyone to be all in as much as possible, right? No one's getting paid here. No one's making any money. It's all just a hobby. But if you have hobbyists that aren't really that into it, they're gonna fall off. They're gonna stop communicating with you, right? And the project's gonna drift apart. Well, we're all in it, and we're all pretty much dedicated to this happening. So that's why.
To follow up more, like, we know Brawl's a moddable game.
Yeah.
Certain games are not as moddable as Brawl is. Melee is not as moddable as Brawl is.
Yep. 64 100%. Isn't either.
Yeah, so modding those is possible, but really, Brawl modding has been so accessible, and that's what we like about it. Like, we all got in kind of innocently, and now we're in this.
Now we're in deep.
We're in deep. We're in too deep.
Yeah. Speaking for me personally, I would love to mod Smash Ultimate. There are a lot of things that I would like to do with that game, but the tools just aren't there. It's basically piggybacking off of everything Layell just said. The tools just aren't there. It's not accessible enough. It's not simplistic enough. It's not open enough.
I don't want to be banned from online.
That too. That's probably the biggest thing.
Well, yeah, and you're literally battling like current live patches that Nintendo is actively pushing out. So it's a whole nother battle. No Nintendo employee anywhere is thinking about pushing updates to Brawl or the Wii or anything like that. So we're pretty much safe.
Yeah.
They didn't think that far ahead.
No, absolutely not. But I would love to do stuff with Ultimate. just at this point in time not worth my time.
Oh, that's fun. Good games. Anyways, back to Legacy TE. I have been here since the original release of TE and XP, and I am glad to see you all come so far in the past few years. Thank you. Thanks for following us. David's face skin in TE. Sorry, bud. Not gonna happen.
Again, back to our no costumes based on certain players.
That would ruin our impartiality. You joined right when PM got shut down, was crushed, but man, was I hyped when I saw David's old Smash Legacy build trailers. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, they definitely garnered some excitement. I remember, and you're right, I was more active in modding around when the PMDT shut down, but just before they did respond to my like 1.0 trailer and say, congrats, we like it, or whatever. And that really struck inspiration for me fairly early on. So yeah, that was some good fun. No, Xanthos, we're definitely not seeing that. There's also legal ramifications for using an individual's likeness in a game without his or her consent. So
well, David,
no.
I guess don't play on Hyrule Castle's start alt.
Okay. Okay. You know, let's just for fun. I think it is worth showing that Easter egg. So,
David, can we also show the other Easter egg?
For a while, like Johan in particular would like if he was working on a stage and he needed a placeholder texture for something or something costume related, he would use like my cartoon avatar face as a placeholder. So like on freaking Hannenbow, we worked on the Fountain of Dreams alt of it. And instead of the little fish heads, it would be my head on the little fish. I hated it so much. I really hated it, but he always did it. And I thought, you know, he always joked like, oh man, I'm going to sneak this in the game. And I think, yeah, right. Like I do way too much playtesting for that to slide. But unfortunately, I believe his worst donut took it upon himself to hide it somewhere. And leave it to Johan for finding it and Worst had to stop him from deleting it. So we'll show you what actually made it into 1.0 and has been in every version since. You'll notice this little area is still here from the HD version of Hyrule Castle HD. So we kind of normally on the bottom it has a picture of Tingle. And that's the Easter egg the PMDT included. But, yeah, you'll notice it has a different face. And, yeah, that is my cartoon avatar that Worst Donut snuck in the stage. So, yeah.
David, can you show my Easter egg? Do you know where it is?
I actually don't. I mean, I know what stage it is, but I actually haven't found it myself.
Okay, well, do you want to try and find it?
Yeah, I do. It's in Cookie Country of Dreams, right?
Yes. Okay. It's in the top middle. See if you can get it. You know what texture it's on, right?
No, I don't.
It's on the floor texture. Okay. Go under the floor.
Okay.
Up at the top in the middle. Do you see it? Do you see it? It's orange. He's there. Oh my gosh.
Do.
Bandana D.
Yes. There's Bandana D also in Legacy T. Apparently, this is the first time I've seen this, but I have heard of it.
He's been there the entire time, you know, waiting for his time to join to Brawl or Smash, just in general.
Oh my goodness.
He's hiding from Ultimate. Yes, he is.
Wow.
I've been waiting for him to show up at some point, but
there it is. So, are there other Legacy TE Easter eggs?
Not that I've. Well, if you load up things like I don't know, the textures themselves.
Yeah, there's stuff written on the textures that are outside of the UV map, right?
Yes.
I've done that myself too.
I do it all the time. I'm pretty bad. Someone has to stop me. I have an addiction to doing it.
Mark, I'm really glad you didn't put anything in Clocktown. Clocktown needs to be untouched. It needs to be unscathed.
Clocktown. I didn't put anything.
Bandana D made it into TE, yeah. All right, well, I think that concludes the stream. If you guys enjoy this, we might do more live streams like this. We're just chatting or playing with viewers or whatever. We had a Twitch channel for a while, but I don't think it makes really any sense to revive it when we have this YouTube channel. And you guys are all fairly engaged and active, and we had some good views. So we're definitely open to doing more stuff like this. If you guys are interested, we're definitely open to doing that. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we depart?
David, when's Legacy to E-Brawl Edition?
I thought that was your project.
Oh, no, that's something completely different.
Oh, okay. So twitch.tv/azpm for RayJ. See him on Tuesday. We have the Smash3C Twitter account if you want a regular taste of Layell's sense of humor, and trust me, you really do. It's one of my favorite Twitters. And I guess Smash3C related stuff too. And then you have my Twitch channel if you want to follow me and see me work on Project M stuff that's just for myself and not Smash Bros. Legacy. So there we have it. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank
we love
you.
you all.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.